magical people? Welcome back to Your Most Magical Life. I'm Mia Magik, and today I wanted to show you some of my witchy ways that I wake up, my little morning routine, how I like to start my day. And I know that all of you who are here, who have watched my channel before, you know that I am a pretty different kind of witch. I got into spirituality through quantum physics and science and conspiracy theories, which I could make a whole nother video about that because, you know, the word conspire means to breathe life into one another or to breathe life together, to be inspired with one another. So most conspiracy theories are actually totally true, and they're deemed conspiracy theories because they're, you know, actually the powers that be not wanting us to know what's really going on. But that's neither here nor there. So I really just wanted to share that how I became a witch, how I cultivated my own wisdom, was a very different path. My greatest teachers are Mother Nature and the trees. And of course, I've studied lots of different things, yoga and Tantra and Buddhism and Kabbalah and ceremonial magic and the tarot and astrology and so many things, many different healing arts. I'm certified in like 15 different alternative healing modalities. And so this is just how I like to start my day. You are welcome to start your day however you want. And one of the main things that I say all the time is that my morning routine, my day, every day changes. It's never the same. I really honor my Geminian nature in that way. I'm always just like keeping things fresh and interesting, and that's what really makes me feel good. So please just take all of this as an invitation. It's like a spiritual buffet. You get to like pick what you want and leave the rest. So the main thing for me is I make sure that I do not wake up to an alarm unless I absolutely have to. I do not like being woken up unnaturally. I like my body to just have the time that it needs, that it desires or requires to wake up as it wants. So I do not sleep with an alarm. I do use earplugs and an eye mask to really just like keep everything super dark. I live in Los Angeles, so even though I'm up in the mountains and far away from the city lights, there's still light pollution. It never gets totally dark here, which is a really important factor for sleep, is absolute darkness. Make sure you check out my video on my sleep routine, and because that is coming and I think is super important. Sleep is such a vital part of our existence. We spend like a third of our life doing it, and so enhancing it and giving as much to making sure that it's really good and really nourishing is a very, very important practice. And you know, like us witches, we really like that kind of nighttime vibe, right? I love just like my darkness and my candles. So the morning routine really kind of starts the night before for me. Now, I know, myself included, I can lose track of my morning routine while traveling. It can be way more difficult to cultivate the stillness and the spiritual connection and taking those moments to yourself when you're on the road. So I actually wanted to share with you all my experience of doing my morning routine while I was traveling. I was running my retreat in Scotland, and I really wanted to just keep myself in alignment. Obviously, I was there to be of service and hold space. And so it was really important for me to stick to my morning routine while I was away. And so that's what I'll be sharing with you today, how I maintained my morning routine while traveling, while totally across the world, and also while working a lot and having a lot going on, but making sure to take that time and space for myself in the morning before the day started. One of the suggestions that I have is if you're traveling with friends, if you have people with you, do the morning routine together. Hold yourself and each other accountable by doing a practice together, doing some kind of ritual. Again, you can make this as witchy as you want. You can draw tarot cards. You can read my book, Intuition, together. Make sure you order today. I'll put the link in the description. Very, very supportive to have pre-orders for first-time authors. Everyone who pre-orders my book, there are so many epic free bonuses like crafting your most magical year workshop with live Q&A and a chance to win one-on-one coaching with me when you submit your proof of purchase. So please make sure you pre-order Intuition today, and I cannot wait to see you with all of these extra special juicy bonuses we have to offer you. You can connect with one another, even just intentionally through breath, through eye gazing, through conversation that's not just like chit chat. But it's really, really impactful to have the support of anyone who's traveling with you to do your morning routine. It's just that much easier to do in community if you've both made an agreement to do it, rather than just like kind of having to take that initiative yourself. I certainly love to do my practice in with community. It's very helpful for me. Another thing is that I love to eat breakfast. It's really important, especially for women, to eat breakfast. I know that like there's a lot around the intermittent fasting thing, but especially for particular times in your cycle, it's really not supportive for women to be fasting. So of course there are times and moments where the detox is important, but for me, I make sure that I eat breakfast. I have a savory breakfast so that I don't get a sugar spike in my day. I'll either have cacao in the morning. I don't drink coffee. When I'm in the UK, I have a lot of tea. I drink tea all the time when I'm in the UK. That's something I never do it when I'm at home in the States. But when I'm home, I like to make a cacao or something like that, which doesn't even happen every day, but some days, most days. And then I make sure that I eat breakfast, usually that has some type of vegetable and then some type of protein and some type of carb. So I only eat like gluten-free sourdough bread that I get from the farmer's market. Like this morning I had broccolini and a little bit of beef and a duck egg and some sourdough naan, which is fucking so good. Oh my goddess. So that's really part of my breakfast, like avocados, salmon, eggs, spinach, greens. I'll really like to have a good savory hearty breakfast that's gonna last me for a little bit. I usually only eat about 2 meals a day, sometimes only one if I am taking too long to get to it and going against what I say and not doing the not fasting thing accidentally just because, life gets in the way. But that's a super important part for me also. And some of you know I was vegetarian for like 15 years and I just recently started eating meat again because of my health. And that was something that like every doctor I saw told me I had to do, even though I resisted it and didn't want to. So that's very new for me, but that has become a very important part of my routine, and praying with the food and honoring the animal and blessing them as they're blessing me with nourishment. So without further ado, let me take you on a little adventure through my witchy way to start the day with the morning routine.
Good morning. There must be more than this provincial life.
Yeah, I was like, there has to be. Yeah, this small ass town, like, I gotta go. What's up, magical people? Welcome back to Mia's Magical Life. We are here in Scotland and wanted to just welcome you into a little day in the life. This is how we're getting our day started. Our retreat begins this afternoon, and so we're all here just powwowing, eating a little breakfast, talking about crazy shit, naturally, conspiracy theories about wheat, diet, really just run-of-the-mill stuff. I'm gonna do my yoga practice, and Ashley's gonna go run and get everybody from the shuttle at the airport and bring them over here. And so we're just checking out some of the photos we took yesterday and just enjoying having fun and connecting with each other. We don't get to be in person that often, so it's such a gift to be able to experience these retreats and all the magic together. So I just wanted to share with you guys a little bit about how I prepare, what I'm doing, how I'm giving offerings to the land, and really making myself a clear vessel for creating this powerful experience to support women in transforming themselves and cultivating their magic and spiritual gifts. So good. So necessary. Must have every day. I feel so good. I'm so blessed. Thank you, Allie B. Shout out to Allie B, who I did my yoga teacher training with. Oh, I have just 10 sacred classes of that I literally do all the time. That was our back bending class. And I just feel she just like speaks so elementally. She was trained with the 13 grandmothers, these 13 indigenous women from tribes all over the world. And she just has this super witchy way of teaching yoga, and it's so deep and it's so connected. It's so not just about the movement, but it's about the energy and the emotion and the mind, and there's just no one better in the whole world, in my opinion. And which is why I did my yoga teacher training with her, even though I was never going to be a yoga teacher. And yeah, so I get to do her classes every day. Normally I do my practice outside in my front yard, but it's a little chilly here today. And so, yeah, I got to do it in here, but I think that that's one of the benefits of doing a practice inside, at least for me, is that then I tend to just go inside and then I close my eyes more often and just have a much more internal practice rather than like looking at what's around. And so now that we've got our yoga done, My morning routine really changes every single day. Sometimes I meditate for an hour, sometimes I meditate for 20 minutes, sometimes I listen to something, most often I sit in silence. Sometimes I journal or pull cards. I didn't even bring any tarot cards with me on this whole trip, and so I don't have any to pull. But there's going to be just so many different ways that I love to honor my body and my spiritual essence and gifts. And so we'll just take y'all on a little adventure, go do a cold plunge, and show you around what a day in my life looks like while we're here in Scotland at the castle. Favorite and least favorite part of the day, cold plunge. I'm gonna get in this very cold, misty loch right now and swim out to that tree and then make it back. And we made it happen yesterday, so we're gonna make it happen again today, even though I feel all the resistance and I just wanna stay in my little snuggly cashmere sweater, which obviously I've already taken off. I just don't want to do it, but I'm going to anyways. And that is one of the most important things about living a magical life, is sometimes there's stuff that you don't want to do, but you have to do it because it's going to help you and it's going to be good for you and it's going to make your life better and it's going to make your health better, or it's going to make your magic more powerful. And that is one of the pieces that all of my yoga teachers, they always say the hardest part about practicing yoga is getting on your mat. You just have to get on the mat and make it happen. And so that's sort of like the cold plunge. You just gotta get your clothes off and get in. So that's what I'm doing. I don't want to do it. Oh, it's not easy. It's not easy. Oh, cold and I'm slimy. I was like, oh, well, I can't feel my legs at all, but people swim in the fucking cold ocean all the time, so I don't think I'm gonna die, but you never know.
How do you feel now?
I feel exhausted and exhilarated, but my limbs feel like jelly. Now it's time for a 33-minute meditation. Gonna get myself all vibed up. Still out of breath from the cold plunge. Warm myself, vibe myself, center, settle myself, meditate for 30 minutes, and then head back and get ready for everyone to arrive. Now I'm ready to go take a spring water shower. I can't feel my fingers or my toes.
I have a weird question. When you meditate, do you go in or out?
That's a great question. My morning routine, it really just changes on a day-to-day basis. I don't like to do the same thing all the time. I love using Dr. Joe meditation. Some people get really triggered by the space, you know, and I personally don't mind it. I love him so much. And yeah, he's just such a, literally when I hugged him at the retreat and he gave me like 3 kisses and he like did like 1, 2, 3, and it was this like slow thing when we hugged him. He's friends with Bear. I'm not that cool. Like, he's friends with my partner. It was like hugging a Tesla coil. Like, he is so alive with energy. It was wild. So even just feeling him in close proximity as a human being, I trust what he's doing, even if I'm not like super excited about space and like feel it in your brain, you know. I'm like, okay, I'll feel it in my brain. You know? But I love what he has created and how intentional. One of the things that I love most about those meditations is that everything is so intentional. Every word, every track, every sound, everything in his meditations is with the specific intention and purpose of helping you change your mind and heal yourself in whatever way you intend to. And so I love his meditations, and I really just like, I almost just laid down. The ground is very wet. But probably my most common and most favorite meditation is just laying down on the earth and letting myself melt into her. Feeling my tendrils of energy enter into her and her tendrils of energy enter into me, and listening and being guided. Like yesterday when we first arrived and we sat out by the loch This is my third time here, and I spend a week here every time, and I've never seen the loch so still. It was just glassy. There was not one ripple when we walked up to it. So one of my favorite practices, a channeled writing practice, I'll put the link here in the description, that you can get totally for free. But it's a practice that I use all the time, really calling in the energy of what's around me to write to me through me. And I asked the loch and the energy of the group and the retreat and the people that are coming here and my higher self, like what's the most important piece or intention or awareness that I'm meant to have in order to be of service here. And it was talking about stillness. And we do a lot of movement and a lot of activity and a lot of energetic transformation and alchemy and tantric rituals and ceremony and like all the things. And this particular retreat was the first one that I ever opened up to men. And turns out y'all aren't quite as brave as I had hoped you were. And so it ended up being all women again, as it usually is. But because I was open to men and hoping that I would create some conscious partnerships, since my partner and I met at a retreat, that was what came through from the loch, was really about stillness. That is the masculine presence, is stillness. And so in the feminine energy, we are in the movement and the chaos and the creativity, and the masculine is the pillar and is the container and is the stillness. And so that was a really powerful message that came through. And that's really ultimately what the practice of meditation is, I think, is just like creating and finding stillness however it is that you can, whatever that looks like for you. And some of us are going to find it inside, and some of us are going to find it outside. And whether you find it inside or outside, the intention is to be able to experience it in both ways. So if you find stillness in looking at the plants or listening to the birds, and you bring that into your internal reality, then great. And if you can create stillness inside yourself, then you will be able to create more peace and stillness in the world around you as well. So I really just follow the energy, follow the moment, and really just try to be still and listen to what my body or what the goddess feels like is the best practice for me every day. All right, y'all, there you have it. So once I'm complete with my morning routine, then I go about my day, and just like my spiritual practice to begin the day, the rest of the day always changes. So maybe I'm recording my audiobook, or I'm working with my editor on another book, or my oracle deck, or I'm making content like filming this video for all of you. Every single day is different. I have a therapist, Bear and I have couples therapy. I have body work once a week. Every single day is different. I do voice lessons. Sometimes I go to the flea market and get new fabulous things for my home. Every day looks different, but I will absolutely take you all along on the journey with me. So make sure that you look out for these other videos where you can see really more of a day in my life, whether it's on retreat or here at home in LA, because I truly believe that living a magical life is about who you are. It's about how you feel. And don't get me wrong, I certainly have days where I wake up and I feel really anxious, or I feel frustrated, or like easily agitated. And those are the days that I know that I've not done my morning routine yet, and that it's time to go out and get on the yoga mat or get into my practice. And remember, your morning does start the night before. So make sure you watch out for my video on my evening routine, as that's gonna be super juicy too. And as always, I'm so grateful to you all. Thank you so much for being here. It is such a gift to have this incredible community, and especially for those who know that for me, this craft, this witchery, it's not about spells and the specific days that you have to do things and be in alignment, or like talk to specific deities and like make offerings to them. Like, your life is an offering. Your gratitude, your songs, your prayers, your blessings, your kindness to yourself and others is an offering to the goddess. The way that you show up, that you buy secondhand things, is an offering to Mother Earth, is a statement and acknowledgement to her that you love her. And that has been the pillar and ultimately like the path of my life and my journey, and what has supported me and made my life most magical. It's really about how it feels and how you allow yourself to experience all of the beauty of it. So this is very much part of Tantra and the Tantric way of life. And for those of you who are looking for a really deep career path serving and supporting people, you know that I do not have a certification program, but one of the most powerful certifications that I've ever done, like by far, is the VITA, the Vital and Integrated Tantric Approach. It is such a profound program. It has helped me so much. I often will integrate the practices from that program into my morning routine. I teach a lot of practices that I received from that lineage in my retreats and in my work. And it is a super deep, I actually did the training for my own personal work. There's one whole trimester that's all personal shadow work and healing work and transformation work. And so if that's something that you are interested in, that will like totally change your fucking morning, change your day, change your life, then I'm gonna put that link below, because this is a year-long certification to become a Vita coach, and it is super, super magical. And Tantra really changed my life and really helped me heal myself, and was the only path, like the only tradition and path that truly resonated with me and made me feel like all of me was welcome. So I'm gonna place that link down below. And I just appreciate you so, so much. Thank you all for accepting me, loving me. Make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Share this video for anyone who you think might enjoy it. And thank you so much for allowing me the deep honor and pleasure of welcoming you to your most magical life.